welcome back to Sports Talk Live. We have a really exciting show today. We have members of the football team, Mike Mattei, Ronell Williams, and Mike Labor. Thanks for coming out today, guys. Let's get started. All right, so you guys started off a little bit slow. You had a loss against Delaware, but since then you guys really bounced back. You're on a 3-game winning streak. What did you guys take from that first game to, give you the momentum and get all these wins?
I think going into the game, we knew that they're arguably one of the toughest teams we play all year, but we knew we could beat them. We had them on the ropes last year, but just going into any game, you can learn a lot, win or lose, and we just tried to correct the mistakes we made and move on to the next week.
Okay, and then on the defensive side, what did you guys think? Was Delaware the toughest team you've played, obviously?
Yeah, by far. But when we played Delaware, that loss, it gave us a glimpse of our true potential. So once we played Delaware and we saw what we were really capable of, we realized that the sky was really the limit for our defense.
And I would say, considering they're a D1 team and you guys didn't get blown out, it was actually a pretty good game going, and in the fourth quarter it was actually pretty close. So do you take a lot from that, considering you played them pretty well?
Yeah, last year we had them on the ropes, excuse me, going into the fourth quarter, so we knew we could play with anybody. Fortunately this year we just kind of let it go at the end, but
yeah. Well, you guys really bounced back. You just had a big win against Kutztown, 45-25. Tell us a little bit about that.
We knew going into the game that we had a game plan that would work if we executed it right. So it was probably the first real complete game we've played in a few years, so it was good to get that win.
And how about on the defensive side? What did you guys do to really give you the momentum?
I would say we just did our part, a couple 3-and-outs, but I would say it was our offense that really gave us the life and took the life out of Kutztown. Once we stopped them a few times, they kind of felt as though they couldn't score, and our offense was putting points on the board, so it was like they just felt like almost depleted.
Okay, and in this whole entire season, you have 11 touchdowns, 1 interception. What is it about this year? You're having so much success, and you're being so efficient. What is it about this year?
I've been in the program this is my 5th year now, so it's a lot of time to learn the offense and get reps during practice to really get comfortable with it. So I'd say it's really just about being comfortable with it and trusting what the coaches teach us every day.
Okay, and then on the defensive side, you guys are both leading the team in tackles. Would you guys consider yourself, the leaders on the defensive side?
Yeah, well, we play our role, but our true leader on the defensive side would have to be our free safety, John O'Donnell.
Okay.
Yeah, but we both play middle linebacker. I'm more like the Batman in this situation. And we could consider Mike Mattei Robin.
Okay, I like that. Well, you guys are playing a really tough team, top-ranked Cal, this upcoming Saturday. What did you guys do this week to prepare for this?
Honestly, we just prepared like any other week going into any other game, but we knew that this one we had to take it not more serious, but really be more focused all throughout the week to really eliminate mental errors, and so we can just go out there and play on Saturday.
Now, are you guys preparing differently completely for offensive compared to defensive? Is it a whole different, strategy and everything like that?
Well, defensively, their offensive line is probably the best we'll see all year. They play really fast, so in practice we kind of focus more on the speed rather than the physicalness of practice.
So you guys think over the past few weeks, you guys really prepared for a game like this? You guys think you're going to be able to pull it out?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier when we played Delaware, with our defense and the way our offense is rolling, the sky's the limit for our football team. Our worst enemy is ourselves. As long as we execute and we do what we're supposed to do, we're the only team that could beat Westchester.
Okay, and so we usually do this in our normal show with Riley and Taylor. We usually do the picks of the game. So I want to go down the line. I want to see if you guys think you're going to pull it out, and if so, what's the score going to be? So anyone
I'll start with a Westchester win. I'll go 31-21.
Okay, 31-21.
I'm going to definitely go with the Westchester win. And the way our offense is rolling, I'll say 31-10.
31-10, I like that.
I'll go Westchester with the win, 28-17.
28-17. All right, well, obviously, I know Westchester is going to pull it out, so I'm going to go 21-14. Westchester is going to win. It's going to be a little closer, but they're going to pull it out in the end.
We'll take it.
All right, well, is there anything else you guys want to say to anyone, give shout-outs or anything you'd want to say to anyone?
Go Rams.
Go Rams.
Got to bend them.
Welcome.
All right, thanks. All right, well, good luck this upcoming Saturday. Hopefully you guys keep this winning streak alive. But for now, we're going to turn to a team that might just give you guys a run for your money, the women's rugby team. All right, well, guys, welcome back. It's nice having you guys back here. I felt really small with all these football players right next to me. But take a look at the women's rugby team. Last year, they had a record of 7-3-2. They were led by Anna McGlade and Cheryl Johnson. So, guys, how about you talk about this year's team? How are they looking?
Well, they're off to a really good start. They're 1-0-1 in their first two games, coming off a really big win against James Madison, 34-3. And in the first game, they tied Princeton 10-10. And given that Princeton's very competitive, that's a good outcome.
You're right. Up next for the Lady Rams, though, they play home October 13th versus Pittsburgh down at South Campus at 11 o'clock. So hopefully after their most recent win, they can come out again and get another victory for the team.
Well, guys, that's all we have for women's rugby. But now it's time to visit STL's newest member, Paige Elliot. Earlier this week, she was able to visit the women's volleyball team at practice. She's going to break down their season so far, as well as a few interviews. Let's take a look.
Good evening. This is Paige Elliot here from Westchester University, and I'm currently at Hollinger Fieldhouse with the Westchester women's volleyball team. The Westchester women's volleyball team dropped a pair of PSAC matches this past weekend versus Cal and IUP. The Cal score ended in 0-3, and the IUP score ended 1-3. Senior captain Lexi Kegerice had 12 kills, 2 aces, and 7 digs this past weekend to lead the Golden Rams. The Golden Rams' record currently is 9-9 overall and 0-4 in the PSAC. Tonight at 7 p.m., the Golden Rams will take on East Stroudsburg, and on Saturday at 2 p.m., they'll take on Lock Haven. Make sure you come out to support Westchester women's volleyball team. I'm currently here with Coach Cassie Belliver, the head coach of the women's volleyball team. This is her 7th season this year with the Golden Rams, and they're coming off of a bad weekend against IUP and Cal. Coach, would you like to tell us about this game this past weekend?
Sure. Yes, unfortunately, we weren't able to come away with the wins against the West teams this past weekend. However, on a positive note, we really feel that as the weekend progressed, the play did improve. We did take a game or a set from IUP, and the girls definitely performed very well during that set. We're looking onward and upward, and looking forward to this coming weekend.
That's excellent, Coach. Also, you guys had a week to practice. You had a week to get everything together, and you have 2 games coming up versus East Stroudsburg and also Lock Haven. Yeah. Do you feel that your team's prepared, that you guys learned from your mistakes, and you're ready for these games coming up?
Absolutely. The girls really had a great practice tonight with Julie O'Brien playing in the middle position, really a spark for our team, as well as always dependent upon Lexi Kegerize, our big outside hitter. So collectively as a team, they know that it takes each and every one of them who are listed on that roster for us to be successful, and that's a result of the hard practice that we put in to prepare for the weekend.
Thank you, Coach. And now I'm here with senior captain Lexi Kegerice. Lexi, tell me what you think about your team's success so far this season.
I think it's pretty good. I think there's a lot of things we can take out of our 9-9 record, which is respectable, but we have played some regionally ranked teams, so I think every match there's tons of things you can take from, learn from it, and I think that's hopefully where our success will come from, is learning on our mistakes.
No, definitely. I completely understand. Now tell me, what do you think about your team in terms of weaknesses and strengths? How do you think your team holds?
I think strength-wise, we are a huge team. We have at least 4 girls that are like pushing 6 foot, which is really good when you don't have to jump as high because you're already up there. So offensively, we're like pretty strong. I'd say we're pretty strong. Defensively, on the other hand, not that we're not strong, but I think more of a weakness is just putting the defense and the setting together, and then just probably serve receive. I don't know how much you know about volleyball,
Right.
but
I'm learning.
So that's definitely the most difficult part, is to get that first pass perfect so you can use your offense as good as you possible.
The women's volleyball team has been practicing all week and looking forward to their games this weekend versus East Stroudsburg and Lock Haven. Make sure you guys come out and support the Golden Rams. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Paige. We'll be looking forward to more interviews in the next upcoming weeks. But for now, Riley, how about you break down our top-ranked field hockey team?
The Rams have continued their hot streak, defeating Millersville 4-0 and East Stroudsburg 3-0. Over the last 4 games, they've outscored their opponents 19-0, and they show no signs of slowing down. Up next for the Golden Rams is Slippery Rock Friday, the September 28th, and Mercyhurst the 29th. These, I think, will be easy victories. I'll be very surprised if they slip up and lose one of these. So this time next week, we'll be talking about 2 more victories for the Golden Rams. Taylor, how are the soccer teams doing?
The Lady Rams soccer team continues to impress as they have climbed the ranks to the number 4 spot in the latest NCAA polls. The Rams reached 8-0 by defeating number 20th ranked California University in a tight game this past Saturday. Senior captain Melissa McCary sealed the match as she scored her team-tying 6th goal of the season and handed California their first league loss of the year. Next up, the ladies head out to Erie as they square off with Mercyhurst Friday and Gannon Saturday, hoping to keep their unbeaten streak alive. On the men, on the other hand, have had trouble so far this season. Starting their season with only one win in their first 5 matches, Westchester rebounded with a strong 3-1 victory over California University before losing a heartbreaker to non-conference Wilmington 1-0. With replacement goalie Kevin Marin suffering a tough loss in his debut, he will be tested even more as the Rams head to Erie for a pair of conference games this weekend.
All right, guys, well, the votes are in from this past week's poll question. The question was, what will the Sixers' winning percentage be? Better than last year won with 80% of the votes. This week's poll question will be, given that the NFL referee lockout is over, how would you assess how the replacement referees did in the first 3 weeks? Be sure to visit our website, sportstalklive.net, and give us your opinion. So speaking about the lockout, that's going to be our topic this week on Outside the Horns. So what do you guys think?
Guys, this past Monday really showed how bad the referees were this week. You just saw that final catch. It's been so controversial. It's been all over the news. Everyone's heard about it. And really, all of us could see it. Now, after they called it a touchdown, there was nothing they could do to reverse it. But going into it, you could see that both of them were not on the same page at all. It's something that the real refs or the legit refs actually would have been able to do. So I thought they did a horrible job, and Monday just proved it,
Well, I mean, I really don't think they did that bad of a job given the situation they were put into. I mean, they had so much pressure. You have fans, coaches all yelling at you.
Right.
How did we expect these people to handle it? They're not equipped and prepared to handle such pressure. So given all that, I think they did the best they could.
Well, I mean, I kind of agree with both of you. Yeah, they did an awful job, but at the same time, you can't expect them to do any better. They're high school refs, they're D3 refs. They're not going to be just like the regular officials were. So I'm not going to say, obviously, they didn't do a good job because they were awful. But at the same time, you just really have to expect that. So in the end, I'm just happy that it's over and we have the regular refs back.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And now that we do have the good refs now that they started on Thursday and they'll be there for the rest of the season, I think you'll see a big improvement. And again, not hating on the other refs, but I just think that these refs are have been trained by the NFL to do this job. So I think they'll be a lot better.
Well, we talked about the NFL lockout, but now it's time to talk about a lockout that no one seems to really be talking about. That's the NHL lockout. So how do you guys feel about this one?
All right, well, guys, I think we got to put most of the blame on Gary Bettman. I mean, this is his 3rd lockout in less than 20 years as being the commissioner.
Right.
And with this kind of money, even though it's not as big as the NFL, it's still a lot of money you're putting at risk. You got to find a way to get the job done. You got to get both sides to come together, sacrifice, and at the end of the day, get the deal done. Right,
Riley. And the sad part is that the fans really lose out here. The owners will get their money. The players are actually going overseas and getting money to play, so they'll be okay. But at the end, all the American and Canadian fans who love the sport are really losing out and missing the team and or game that they love. So it's a shame.
Yeah, and you were talking about the fans, and I just know me personally, back in 2004 when the other lockout happened, I was a big fan, and then not having hockey for an entire year really hurt. And when it came back, it took me, I'd say up 4 years just to really get back into it, because with a whole year of you being used to not having hockey, you get other things and everything like that. And until the last 2 years, I wasn't really big into hockey again, and then all of a sudden another lockout. I think it just really hurts just fan standpoint. I think it's going to hurt them economically. It doesn't really make sense to me. Right. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week on Sports Talk Live. Just a reminder, visit our website, sportstalklive.net, ask us questions. If there's anything you want us to talk about, let us know. But that's all the time we have. Visit us next week.